This is a video describing Holden Caulfield's symbolism and what it means. Holden has many symbols in The Catcher in the Rye, and sometimes they are hard to understand, but he always has a reason for them. An example of one of the symbols that is very important to him is his younger brother Allie's baseball glove. It is important to him because it's the last tangible item Holden has of his brother, who passed away from leukemia when they were kids. Holden said that Allie was one of the most brilliant kids. When he played baseball, he would write poems on his left-handed fielder's glove in green ink, and when it was between batters, he would read them. Holden gets drunk and smokes a lot. This symbolizes him wanting to become an adult, even though he shouldn't be doing it. Holden says, "I use smoking and drinking as an escape from stress and people." Holden only wore his red hunting hat at certain times. This symbolizes him being unsure and self-conscious about what other people think of him. "I took out my old red hunting hat and put it on. I knew I wouldn't be meeting anybody that knew me." Holden does not like children to hear curse words because they are innocent. This symbolizes his compassion for the children and how important their childhood is to Holden. Holden says, "Children are innocent. They don't need to hear those words." He also doesn't like phonies because they don't act like themselves and they are fake. One of the main reasons I left Elkton Hills was because there were so many phonies who didn't act like themselves and always acted differently. In the beginning of the story, Holden appears to be very selfish and only caring about himself, but as the story progresses, he starts to mature and starts showing his real colors. When Holden was talking to Phoebe, he depicted himself as a catcher in a field of rye, hence the title, Catcher in the Rye. This was one of Holden's biggest emotional breakthroughs. Holden was very conservative. He didn't connect with people because he didn't want to grow close to them and lose them like he did Allie. He said, "Anyway, I keep picturing all these little kids playing in some game in this big field of rye and all. Thousands of little kids and nobody around, nobody big, I mean except me. And I am standing on the edge of some crazy cliff. What I have to do, I have to catch everybody if they start to go off the cliff. I mean, if they're running and they don't look where they're going, I have to come out from somewhere and catch them. That's all I have to do all day. I just have to be a catcher in the rye and all. I know it's crazy, but that's the only thing I'd really like to be. I know it's crazy." This field of rye represents childhood. Childhood is laid out for you, and you could see all around you, just like a field. Holden has to mature while he was young. When his brother Allie died, he had to quickly grow up. He didn't have anybody to help him mature into an adult. He didn't want the same mistake to happen to Phoebe, so he depicted himself as a person who helped children from going from youth to adulthood. On the edge of this field, there is a cliff. The cliff represents uncertainty and losing your innocence. He had to stop the kids from running off the cliff because you can't see the bottom of the cliff. This symbolizes that adulthood isn't laid out for you, and it is a mystery. You don't know what will happen at the bottom, so he didn't want the kids to find out. There is a wide opening in the cliff. This opening symbolizes adulthood coming at all different ages and times. There is not a set time of maturation. Holden does not want Phoebe to grow up because he is dealing with the worst of adulthood at the time. He couldn't process and handle it. So this is a way of protecting her. This is also a way of narrowing his thoughts down. In conclusion, this reveals that despite what he says, he really cares about people, and he is a very selfless person. This video is brought to you by the Edmont Hotel, Ernie's Jazz Club, and the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets.